Alright, welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Ladd, my co-host Deborah. Today's Sunday, August 30th, 2009, 10:07 p.m. Deborah's on the phone with me. Hi, Deborah. Did you have a good weekend?
Hi, Brian. Yeah, I had a great weekend. I worked this weekend.
Yep, I heard. Selling products, right?
Yes.
And how'd that go?
Worked at the market up in Muskegon.
How'd it go?
It went great. The turnout was probably about half of what it usually is because it was raining off and on, and it was pretty cold. The wind was coming in off the lake.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad you had fun. I've had a terrible weekend. I've been sick and tired and everything else, but I'm here. So, let's get this going, I guess. Past 4 days I've only done one case. And that was the one you sent me. That's case 806. So you want to get that? We're going to get that out of the way, and then we'll cover some updates on. We're going to cover update on Christy Cornwell, and then for Jaycee Dugard, right?
I thought we were just going to talk about Jaycee Dugard, but we can talk about Christy too.
Okay. Well, let's just that little bit echo there. Okay, this is we'll wait till that echo goes away. Alright, case number 80. Alright, case number 80. I can't do this, Deborah. Sorry. The echo's too bad.
I don't know what to do.
I don't either.
You sound pretty garbled too. I wonder how bad the audio comes through to the
I don't
people
know.
listening.
I think they probably hear us fine. All right, case number 8. Forget it. Good night, guys. I'm serious. I can't. But this is going to keep doing this. I can't do it. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. It's gone. Let's knock this out real quick. Case number 806. This was open today. Dream drawings were done last night. There are 3 missing children and a non-custodial mother that may be responsible for their disappearance. Again, case number 803 was open April 30th, 2009. This is for Giovanni, Giovanni, and Gisselle, and then the non-custodial person, which is actually, I believe, her biological mother, is Isabel Rodriguez. Forgive me if I pronounced any of these wrong. Deborah, what information do we have for this case?
Okay, the 3 Anderson children have been missing since March 29th of 2004. That would be, I don't know the exact pronunciation of this little girl's name. It's Eowynne.
Okay.
Then there's Giovanni and Gisselle. Okay. And on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children poster, the mother is listed as Isabel Gibbs, not Rodriguez.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Well, hold on a second. Okay, you're right. My mistake. I wrote it down wrong. Isabel Gibbs. My bad. We're getting the echo again. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, the little one whose name I can't pronounce, Eowynne. She's adorable. She is. Let's see. They're missing, like I said, March 29, 2004. This little girl's date of birth is April 12th of the year 2000. She's 9 years old now. White female with brown hair and brown eyes. And she's listed as 2 feet 7 inches tall and 28 pounds. That would be, how her size when she went missing. The kids are missing out of Linwood, Washington. That's the state, Washington State there. Giovanni, his date of birth is September 1st of 1996. His age now, he's 12 years old now. He's a white male with brown hair and brown eyes. At the time he went missing, he was 3 feet 7 inches tall and 40 pounds. And then Gisselle, her date of birth is November 9th of 1993. She's 15 years old now. White female with brown hair and brown eyes. At the time that she went missing, 4 feet 3 inches tall and 60 pounds. The mom, Isabel Gibbs, the abductor, she has date of birth of August 14th of 1966. That would mean that she just turned 43. She's a Hispanic female, blonde hair, brown eyes, 5 feet 1 inch tall and 110 pounds. They did issue a felony warrant for kidnapping for Isabel Gibbs on April 12th of 2004, which was just like almost 2 weeks after they went missing, because they've been missing since March 29th of 2004. It says that they may travel to Spain. Little Gisselle has a mole on her left earlobe and has pierced ears. And they say that they may be using the alias last name of San Miguel. And the contact information, if you would have information about this case, if you think you've seen them, is to call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. And in addition to that, the number is also listed for the Bannock County Sheriff's Office in the state of Idaho. That's 208-236-7111. And another bit of information about this case is that it was requested by Gail for you to consult on it, because the children's father had wanted Gail to work on the case. And there's supposed to be an upcoming episode of Gail's show regarding her work on this case. So would you like to share what you have on this case, Brian?
Yeah, sure, Deborah. These audio problems aren't going away, but we'll try our best. Are we sure that Isabel abducted them, right?
From what I can find, yes.
Okay.
And from what I was told when we were talking about it the other day, when I was talking with Sue about it, and Gail was on the line. We didn't really know anything of the case then, and I actually wasn't sure if that was actually, these children were the same ones, because I had heard that it was, out of Idaho. So, these children, they're listed as being missing from Washington State. But with the information that Sue had gotten through Cindy, who handles Gail's cases, the father had actually requested it. And from, what he has said, in addition to what the warrant says, the felony warrant for kidnapping, and what's listed at National Center, it really looks like, I don't think there's any doubt that the mom has the children.
Okay. As far as Spain goes, I definitely think that they are in Spain. Deborah, I can't do this with this audio like this. I'm going to have to try something. Turn down something, or... You try it now. No, it's worse.
Worse?
Yeah, anyways, I have three dream drawings. I'm going to go like this. I did do some research on this, and I'm pretty sure if these are the people we're talking about, they are in Spain. Unfortunately, I don't think that the mother's with them this time. The first one says, not safe, España, Spain. I looked it up. España is a E-S-P-A-N. A-N-A is the way it's spelled on the dream drawing, but I think it's spelled differently. But it is a major city in Spain. Catholic Church orphanages. Orphanages is spelled wrong. Put a little note in there. Next one says orphanage, or orphan, whatever. St. Cross outside Madrid, which is another city in Spain. I believe it's the southern part of Spain. Eowynne, I think this is the first child we were talking about. I believe the youngest one, to be adopted by an American. That's what kind of bothered me right there. And the next one says she's not with child, which I'm assuming might be Isabel. And that is, I believe, a drawing of a church, or even a church that could be actually a adoption agency. There are plenty of them in Spain. And the next one says J-A-V-I, and I believe that's the name of the person that may be involved with the mother at this time. Looking at the information here I have, it is possible that maybe she had given them to some type of adoption agency, something over in Spain. Now, working the Madeline McCann case and a lot of other cases, there's a lot of stuff going on in Portugal and Spain and stuff like that. And a lot of these adoption agencies don't really do a lot of the background checks that they should. They basically house children, and I'm not saying all of them, but they basically abuse their rights as caretakers of children and make them work in camps and adopt them to people that they really shouldn't be adopting them to. So if that's the case, I definitely think this needs to be checked into. I'll do some more work on this, but it just sort of reminds me of the Madeline McCann case. Even though with the recent changes in that case, it still kind of reminds me of that. And I don't think that they are deceased, but I do think maybe there is something to look into if they are over in Spain, and definitely look into orphanages outside Madrid, and I think there's a few of them. And whatever else we can do, we'll definitely look into it. And that's all I have on this case, Deborah.
Okay. I heard parts of that with our audio challenges tonight. I was not able to understand all of what you said.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll tell you after the show. I think the recording went fine, though. I was looking at the meter, and it looks like it's going fine. So I don't know. I'm not in the chat, but I think people may have heard it. If not, we'll have to redo it. Probably won't even record this in the first place and do it over again. That's all I have on this case. We have. You want to do any updates on 802, Christy Cornwall?
Maybe after the other case, after Jaycee's case.
Okay.
If we have time. Otherwise, we would be discussing the latest information regarding Christy on tomorrow night's show, correct?
Right. What I mentioned, what I covered as far as the case 806, is basically what I told you before the broadcast. So about Spain churches, and a lot of the churches over there act as their orphanages and stuff like that. That's all I discussed. So nothing new for you. Right. Okay. It's a real popular thing going around right now. A real popular news article or story. This is about a person named Jaycee Dugard, correct, Deborah?
That would be Jaycee Lee Dugard.
Okay, Jaycee Lee Dugard. I'm sorry. We never had this case open, so I don't have anything on it. But it's a really big story, and it goes to show you that people go missing. They are found. A lot of times they did not go missing on their own, and then didn't want to. And they did want to come back, but they were being held against their will. And this case apparently has a happy ending so far. Deborah, what do we have?
It's a completely amazing story. Jaycee was abducted close to 2 decades ago. She was abducted 18 years ago when she was 11 years old. She's now 29 years old, and she has 2 daughters, ages 11 and 15. She is, I'm sure that, most everyone listening has heard about this case. Sadly, it wasn't brought to, resolution sooner. There were a couple times that, something could have been done if they'd been able to catch this guy. But what happened was Jaycee was on her way to school, and her stepdad actually saw her be abducted by a car with 2 people in it. The guy who did this, his name is Philip Garrido. I think that's how you say it, Garrido. And he lives in Antioch, California. And that's where, she was this entire time. Poor Jaycee was living in the guy's backyard. When he abducted her, he had his wife along for the ride, and he was already a convicted sex offender and had spent his time in Leavenworth. So, it was just an awful thing to happen. An 11-year-old abducted and then living in his backyard for almost 2 decades. It's awesome that they found her and that she's, alive and well. Apparently, medical care. She had 2 children. She had them there. He is the father of the children. She actually, let's see here. She's missing. When she went missing, she was living in South Lake Tahoe, California. And she was abducted from the street right in front of her house.
I lived in Sacramento. We've been up to Tahoe. It's a beautiful area. Really nice homes up there, too. That's 2 cents. Go on.
Okay. Well, apparently what happened here is that this past Tuesday, Philip Garrido showed up at the campus of the University of California at Berkeley with his 2 daughters, which would be the children he fathered with Jaycee. Well, she was in his backyard in this little compound type situation he had set up and obscured from people's view, and him and his wife were living in the house. So they showed up there, and he attempted to get permission to hand out literature and to speak. It doesn't state what the subject of the literature or his talking was, supposed to be about. There were police officers there on the campus that thought the interaction between him and the two younger girls was suspicious. So they confronted him and they performed a background check. When they did that, they found out that he was on federal parole for a 1971 conviction for rape and kidnapping, for which he had served his time at Leavenworth. The two police officers that were able to, be instrumental in this whole thing, their names are Allison Jacobs and Lisa Campbell. They became suspicious of what they are describing as subtle behavior. They ended up contacting his parole officer, and the parole officer requested that he appear the next morning at the parole office. When he did that, he brought along his wife and a female named Alyssa. Along with that, he also brought his two daughters. Now, this female named Alyssa and the two children were a surprise to the parole officer, who'd never seen them when he went and did visits at the guy's house. And it turns out that Alyssa is actually Jaycee, and he said that her name was Alyssa. They are doing DNA confirmation on this case, but Jaycee was able to answer questions and give information that there would be no other way for her to know. And she did this with her mother and her stepfather. So it is confirmed that it is her, but they still are doing the DNA. Okay. They say that this Philip Garrido admits that he... And right now, Philip and his wife Nancy are in the county jail. They're facing, I think it was 29 charges. I'll get to that in a second. And that's stemming from this whole mess here, for which the maximum penalty would be life in prison. They say that there's a neighbor of this guy that said that they're in the neighborhood. Her dad lives there, 2 houses away, for the past 33 years. Never saw a young woman or the children or anyone there. Described this Philip Garrido as being like a strange, reclusive, angry type of guy. And it seems that the last time that family that lived 3 doors down that, was interviewed, says they had any contact with him was last fall. He was burning something in his backyard, and that's where he was keeping them. And they had, home health aide had called the fire department, and he was really angry. He went over to their house and was yelling. Because, of course, it called, right? And that brought attention to his backyard. This guy says that he gave documents a few days ago to the FBI in San Francisco, and he says that they would shed light on the case. He says they're going to be part of the trial. And he would not go into detail as about why he did this. He said that he hadn't talked to a lawyer yet, so he couldn't tell why he had done it. He doesn't want to incriminate himself, I'm sure, but I think he's pretty much incriminated here. He does claim, now these are quotes from this piece of work, from this awful, awful person. He says that he completely turned his life around in the past several years. Now, this is a quote from him. He says, "You're going to find the most powerful story coming from the witness and from the victim. If you take this a step at a time, you're going to fall over backward, and in the end, you're going to find the most powerful, heartwarming story."
No.
The only thing that's heartwarming to me is that Jaycee and her 2 daughters are out of there. Hey, I couldn't believe this. He says this too. He says, "Wait till you hear the story of what took place at this house. You're going to be absolutely impressed." What are we going to be impressed with? He says, "It's a disgusting thing that took place with me in the beginning, but I turned my life completely around. When he was describing his two daughters with Jaycee, are 11 and 15, he says, those two girls slept in my arms every night from birth. I never kissed them. So I guess he's trying to say that he never put one of his disgusting hands on them in the wrong way by stating that. And he claims that the reason that the kids had never been to a doctor and Jaycee was not to the doctor, apparently she had those girls in the backyard. He says, we just didn't have the finances and so forth. What they found in his backyard was a hidden backyard within a backyard. It included several sheds that were no higher than 6 feet tall, 2 tents, and several outbuildings. And they say this is where Jaycee and the girls spent most of their lives.
Get a map of this address, Deborah, or give me an address and I'll look it up. I want to get an aerial view of that.
Okay. Here's a link to the article that I'm getting most of the stuff from. CNN seems to have good stuff. You know, it's some latest information on what's going on there. I just don't understand how this guy, I mean, this to me, you know what his things remind me of? I hate to even bring this case up at all because it is a closed case. But it reminds me of the one who, when we really find out what happened, she's going to be declared Mother of the Year.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
exactly,
Which
right?
reminded me of the dungeon case. I believe
What?
that the one in Australia, I think. Was it Australia? No, it wasn't Australia. The dungeon.
Now,
The guy,
who's the Mother of the Year? That would be Casey
well, I know
Anthony.
I know what you're talking about there, but I'm saying there's another case where he kept. Remember, they kept the family down in this secret rooms, compartments, basically like a dungeon.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know
what it
if that was Australia or where that was, but it wasn't in the United States. That was a
I
really
want to know
when they just locked him up, right?
We've got 800
Recently, he went through his trial.
We got 807 open cases. I mean, why? I didn't know about this one. Did you?
No, I had never heard the name before. And I usually, when I hear missing persons' names, they usually ring a bell with me, that I've heard before, or, yeah, I know that's first.
Diane said it was Australia, so Australia.
Even if it's not.
And another thing, it's kind of bothering, though, how it's amazing how we don't pay attention, even as neighbors and stuff, that you think something's wrong, and even if they call the police, nothing happens, we tend not to.
It gets worse. Listen,
we stay out of people's businesses. Like when you see something going on, like we just don't report a lot of things. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because we think you may be wrong or something like that, and you don't want to say. A lot of cases of child molestation go unreported, even though the neighbors suspect something. Not particularly in this case. I'm saying in a lot of cases, people are just don't want to meddle in other people's business, and this probably could have been ended a long time ago. But there's nothing good coming out of this other than we learn from mistakes. There's nothing good that's coming out of this at all. This is absolutely disgusting.
Well, the really bad thing too is there were home visits made by parole officers. In addition to that, there was the fire department call. But going even further is that there was someone that called a few years ago, and they claimed that they saw.
That's what you were telling me about before. That's why I asked you in 2006, the phone call, 911 call.
Right. Someone called 911 on November 30th of 2006. So we'd be coming up on the 3-year mark now, to say that a woman and young children were living in tents in the backyard of Philip Garrido. So
right there would be a welfare check. Okay, social services has a lot of power, and it seems like in a lot of cases they just haven't used it. For example, Robert Manuel. I mean, just look at these cases, and they have a lot of power, and just that one call should have brought off welfare checks. And they say, hey, if there's something in the backyard, can we go look? Hey, something's wrong here. I mean, what's all these people? What are all these people doing in the backyard? Ask some questions or something. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Well,
law enforcement now says that they should have, they say here they should have been more inquisitive, more curious, and turned over a rock or two. He says that the deputy didn't know that the guy was a registered sex offender. And I can't believe that they didn't check the backyard. It seemed like they just went there and believed whatever he said, you know, without going back there and looking. And it's just horrible. It's just awful.
I totally agree. Well, thanks, Deborah. I don't think we really have anything else to say on this one. Do we want to open this case in the forum, even though we haven't covered it? Seems people are interested in it. You can open a case in the forum.
Sure, I'll go ahead and do that.
I guess there is a couple good things. Well, one good thing that coming out of this maybe does give a lot of people hope that are missing loved ones. That there's thousands of things that could have happened to them, and it doesn't always mean that they're deceased. I guess you want to look at it like that. But that's absolutely disgusting. I can't even believe that happened. But, back to that one case, though. That case was in Australia. Diane said that. And then, and did you see? She just sent a link in here. It says the site has the video of the abductor talking. So they actually have a video now.
Okay.
So I'm sure this will be some made-for-TV movie too.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be. What you said about, being found after a long time and everything, the spokespeople at National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, those types of agencies are, speaking a lot to that same effect right now, saying that, not to give up hope and stuff.
Right.
Because, it can happen.
It also goes to show you that this went on and they got away with it for so long. I mean, and really they would have kept getting away with it, right? Didn't she turn herself in?
Well, yeah, when that stuff went down on Tuesday and he had to report to his parole officer, then she ended up going to the police station.
Okay, she was 18?
And she told them who she was.
She's 18, right?
Pardon me?
She's 18?
She's not 18, she's 29.
Oh, I'm sorry. She was taken when she was 18?
And she was abducted when she was 11.
Oh.
18 years is how long she was missing.
Okay.
Yeah, she was missing for 18 years. Right now, as far as the charges...
Okay, question, 29.
Facing 29 different charges.
Okay, she's 29 right now.
Right.
Okay, so she's probably responsible for some crimes too. I hate to say that, but at 29, you're responsible for your actions.
She was held in someone's backyard,
okay,
though.
I understand that, but she's 29.
Well, there's also the other thing that, people are bringing up, that she may have identified with the captor. And I asked you
I understand that, Stockholm Syndrome and all that, but she's 29. I'm just saying she's 29. I mean, that says it
right,
itself.
I understand that, but, with that
she's
Stockholm
almost
Syndrome...
30. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I understand that, but if you're 29 years old and you see, rapes going on, God knows what you might have witnessed, right?
I'd be shocked if...
I think there's probably more that's going to come out on this.
There may be. I'm sorry,
shocked I thought she was 18.
Were to be charged with anything?
I thought she was 18, and then I didn't realize she was 29. Guess I should have.
Yeah, I'd be really shocked if they were, to charge her with anything.
Was she chained down or something? Well, I guess we don't know anything yet.
No, but, just think about that Stockholm Syndrome thing.
I understand, but she's 29. I think there's probably something more to this. I'm sorry, I mean...
I just found something. Headline on this one. Emails show kidnapped victim worked at suspect's business. Customers of the printing company that he owns knew her as Alyssa. They spoke to her about graphic design, business cards, and flyers, and describe her as professional, polite, and responsive.
I don't want to sound cruel, but what I'm saying is she's 29 years old.
Well, if
to
she
me,
was
that
able
changes.
to
To me, that
talk to
changes
all
a
these
few
people
things.
all this time, you know, she's working and she's talking to the customers and stuff like that, she could have said something. You know, so she wasn't...
Sean Hornbeck, Van Ownby. Okay, how did they get caught?
Exactly. I thought about that too.
Okay, I know that Sean's life was terrible, and I know what happened to him was terrible, but they got caught out looking for another kid. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I thought she was 18. I'm sorry, Deborah. This changes a little bit what I'm thinking here. I mean, we can say, okay, we're really sorry for her, but I'm saying she's 29.
Yeah, I know. And it seems like she's supposedly been living in this compound, as they sort of describe it, in the outbuildings and tents and everything, living in this dude's backyard.
So it was a cult, but you know, people that kill people in cults are responsible for their own actions. Still, I mean, even with the Mansons, they face charges. I'm not saying the murders happened there, but I'm sure that you know, a lot of stuff happened there that's not legal, right? I mean, I thought she was 18. I'm sorry. I guess I was just looking at that picture, the one that's up there right now.
Okay. It also, now these emails that they've gotten, this person says were written by Alyssa. Also says that he met Dugard in person twice. So he met Alyssa twice in person. He claims nothing stood out. He said when Alyssa emerged from the house and gave him his print orders, nothing stood out. He says obviously there was some brainwashing going on.
Well,
that's
sure.
all he can think. She had access to a phone and a computer. So obviously something went on that no one knows about. That's what this customer says of the, you know, his contact with her as she worked in the guy's printing business. You know, the guy that would actually be the person sitting in jail for abducting her to begin with, and that is Philip Garrido. He owns a printing business, and the name of that business...
Do we know why she turned herself in?
What's that?
She turned herself in, right? She walked to a police station.
Right, and said that she was Jaycee Dugard.
We know the reasoning for that, though?
Well, from the way this played out, it appears to me that that was right after showing up as Alyssa with her 2 daughters in tow, along with him and his wife, to his parole officer.
Okay, so she thought they got caught.
The lid blew off this thing due to those female police officers running a background check on him the day prior, on Tuesday, when he showed up at the Berkeley campus. Because they thought something was off. They thought that his interaction with the 2 young daughters that he has with Jaycee, which are 11 and 15, was suspicious. They saw subtle things that bothered them.
So she gave birth to two kids?
2 kids.
And those 2 kids?
Aged 11 and 15.
Okay. They're age 11 and 15 now, right?
Right.
Okay. So she let those kids stay there too, right?
Pardon me?
The kids stayed there too. Did the kids go to work with her at any time or anything? Or?
I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't know, but, you know, it says here, this guy that claims that he had met her, he went to pick up a print order, says that she emerged from the house to give him his print orders. So if that be the case, then she was also inside the house, besides in the sheds and tents in the back. And it says here too, while authorities say they're still trying to sort out the conditions.
She was a prison guard.
What's that?
She was a prison guard, keeping her children locked up. Right?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, right? I mean, did she let him escape? Did he go to school? Did he didn't get any medical treatment? I don't know. I don't know, Deborah. Sorry, I'm done talking about it. I really didn't think she was 18. Anything else?
No, if we're done with that one, then I don't have anything else.
Okay. Not done. Okay, this is a picture of Adji Desir and his grandmother. Adji went missing on January 10th, 2009 from Immokalee, Florida. Adji is 6 years old. He has the mental capacity of a 2-year-old. What we would need you guys to do is to go to www.findadji.com, print a picture, and put that picture up anywhere you may think of. Put it up at Walmart, any place that people visit. That's what we need. Deborah, anything else?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sorry guys, audio issues and all that other stuff. We'll be back on tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Good night.